Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. My name is Chris Chichester. I live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive in Penfield, and I have never committed a crime. And that fact is completely and totally irrelevant to you because you each do not understand, and your fanatical, degenerate employees do not understand what constitutes criminal behavior. Demanding public information from you. The document I demand the most, that I'm most interested in, is the public employee payroll, the list of salaries for the sheriff's office and the district attorney's office. On November 15th and November 17th, you received it. I'm going to put this in the mail, certified mail return receipt soon. This copy and this copy from the 15th to the 17th. November 19th, 2020, Freedom of Information Law. The key word for you, party switching frauds, Todd Baxter and Sandra Doorley, is law. Law. That's the key word. What do you pay your public employees at the district attorney's office and the sheriff's office? Because I have a payroll, even though you took both out of my residence when Leah LaRoque came in here, one of your fanatics, degenerates, sociopaths, bald-headed, party-switching fraud, Todd Baxter. Who is Leah LaRoque, and how come she's not on one of the payrolls I have? Who is this woman? This bald-headed, wig-wearing Paula Metzler, Penfield Town Court, this corrupt hack, signed a search warrant for her to come into my residence. What'd you find, Todd? You took my Chromebook, my Acer Chromebook out of my residence. Send my Acer Chromebook back to me. What did you find on my Chromebook? To go through my Gmail? To see the websites I serve? Where's my Acer Chromebook? Bald-headed, party-switching Todd Baxter. Does it matter to you that you still have my Chromebook? What's the purpose of taking my Chromebook out of my residence with the search warrant, Todd Baxter? How is that possibly legal? Who is Leah LaRoque? Freedom of Information Law. The key word, District Attorney Sandra Doorley and Sheriff Todd Baxter's law. Click reply and send me a PDF, a list of salaries for every individual at the District Attorney's office and Sheriff's office. And I'm particularly interested in your six-figure public employees. Six figures, $100,000 for your public employees. You have on one page alone, I think the correct number is 9. On one page, Todd Baxter, you have 9 making $100,000. 9 of your employees on one page. Freedom of Information Law, November 19, 2020. I am the requester, Sandra Doorley and Todd Baxter. The names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd K. Baxter. The names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. Total cost of overtime, time and a half, however paid beyond a base salary is calculated at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter. Perhaps you, Todd, have heard about how public employees abuse overtime. How do you pay your public employees when the 41st hour is worked? What's the answer to that question? If you have a public employee that works 60 hours, how do you pay the public employee from the 41st hour to 60th hour? What's the answer to that question? Bald-headed, party-switching fraud, Todd Baxter. You will refuse to answer. So will a certain district attorney who's going to get that same freedom of information law. Total cost of overtime, time and a half, however paid beyond a base salary is calculated at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, Sandra Doorley. How do you do that, sweetheart? You got your district attorneys. Are they working a 40-hour week? Because when they're putting screws to innocent Americans, I'm going to get to how you want to tell me the name of your prosecutors in my cases, plural. When you're putting screws to innocent Americans, you're going to work a 41st hour week. How do you pay your public employees, Sandra Doorley? How is that done at the district attorney's office? You refuse to answer. Sexual harassment is a violation of the dignity of the human being. And no human being should ever have to confront sexual harassment on the job. Anywhere. Anywhere in the United States of America. And what is sexual harassment? This is not a definition that has a simple definition. It has multiple definitions. It can have 500 definitions. It can have 1,000 different definitions because it manifests itself in 1,000 plus ways. It's a man asking a woman out on a date over and over and over, and she's under siege with reply, no, 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 leave me alone. Your employee's doing that at the district attorney's office, Sandra Doorley. Are you aware of one of your assistant district attorneys who just will not leave a woman alone in your office that works for you? Have you been told at any point at the district attorney's office that you have an employee that is asking another employee out on a date? You know what a date is. Do I have to tell you what the definition of a date is? I know how you lawyers are. Everything has to be explained and everything has to have a definition. Do you know what a date is? It's like, would you like to go for a drink? That's a date. Do you understand a date, Sandra Doorley? Are you aware, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, of one of your employees harassing another employee by constantly asking that employee out on a date, and she is under siege with the word no? Are you aware of that happening? And Sandra Doorley, has it reached a point where you have an employee that's no longer at the district attorney's office and you've had to settle an employment-related discrimination lawsuit under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964? Oh, sweetheart, does the Civil Rights Act of 1964 sound familiar to you? Because this is in the top 5 of the most important pieces of legislation ever passed by my former employers, the United States House of Representatives, the United States Senate. Are you in violation of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, because you have used taxpayer dollars to settle employment-related lawsuits under Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act? What's the answer to that question, District Attorney Sandra Doorley? And you will refuse to answer yes or no. Because to answer yes requires the United States Department of Justice to investigate your district attorney's office. Someone requires the United States Department of Justice to descend on 130 South Plymouth Avenue is party-switching, bald-headed fraud Todd Baxter. The cost of taxpayers of Baltimore County Sheriff Todd Baxter has used taxpayer dollars to settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. What's the answer to that question, Sheriff Baxter? What's the answer to the question if you have expended taxpayer dollars because your employees behave like animals and you're an animal too, Todd Baxter? I've seen your employees over and over and over in the 10 years I've lived in Monroe County. And they're animals. I'll give you one example. When my ex-girlfriend and I lived in Webster, we lived above someone who had Tourette's syndrome. And we just called the police. 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning one morning at that time, there they are pounding on the door, the Monroe County Sheriff Office. I get up, Laura's behind me. I walk to the door, open the door. The Monroe County Sheriff Office employee grabbed my t-shirt, like the one I'm wearing now, pulled me out the hallway and threw me up against the wall. I came off the wall. I stuck my finger in his face. I told him he wasn't wearing that ice cream suit. The fight would be on. I looked to Laura to my left, and she's staring at the Monroe County Sheriff Office employees in shock. She started to cry when I eventually closed the door. Said, I can't believe what had just happened, what I just saw. It's not the first time the employees have had their hands on me. You were not sheriff at that time. You were still in Greece. So when I say your employees behave like animals, this goes back 10 years of my first encounter with a Monroe County Sheriff Office employee. And the witnesses, my ex-girlfriend Laura, I've known for 30 plus years. She's standing right there. I had to look at her and she's crying after these Monroe County Sheriff Office employees. All I did is answer the door. Your employees behave like animals, Todd Baxter. I've seen your employees behave like animals for 10 plus years. There are mentally ill individuals in pain who believe that they're under surveillance by the government. And it is a sad situation when I see these cases on TV or read about them in the newspaper, when they believe they're under surveillance by the government and they're not. And it's frequent enough where it's really heartbreaking to watch this happen, to see someone suffer like that and say, I'm under surveillance by the government. Nobody really knows who they are or what they're talking about. You, Todd Baxter, bought a camera called a surveillance device and put it on 2025 Penfield Road to concoct the crime for me for walking through a parking lot. And I was calling it a surveillance device for 18 months. And your employees, like $0 sick hack Michael Rather, or Kathleen Miller and her $34,000, or William Tadeo, or Scott Alberti were calling Lindsay Barron at the Monroe County Office of Mental Health to come to my residence because I used the phrase surveillance device. If you come over here to 26 Sanders Farm Drive, you can walk through that parking lot, or your employees rather. You could go right over here to 2025 Penfield Road. You can look at the corner of the building, you'll see it. It's a camera I was on, and your employees showed me the video. That's why it's called a surveillance device. Isn't that right, Elliot Raw? When was that camera placed on your building, Elliot? Because you said to me you're going to be arrested. And the only reason you say to me you're going to be arrested is you know they were there and they put that camera on their building. This is the sick lunatic fringe. So when I say that you're the sick lunatic fringe, there should be no confusion. Todd Baxter, bald-headed, party-switching fraud. Why I call you the sick lunatic fringe? You put a camera, also called a surveillance device. You purchased a camera, also called a surveillance device, with taxpayer dollars and put it on 2025 Penfield Road for one innocent American. And that's me. The cost of a surveillance device purchased with taxpayer dollars by Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter fixed to $1 billion 2025 Penfield Road to monitor Christopher Chichester at 26 Sanders Farm Drive. Walks through the parking lot next to the building. Isn't that right, Nayraj? Shah. Because you left your building at 2041 Penfield Road where you live with your mommy. 50-plus-year-old Nayraj leaves his building. He's in his vehicle. I'm walking through the parking lot. My back is turned. And there this psychopath is screaming at me inside his vehicle. I don't know why he's screaming at me. I walk up to the vehicle. I say, what's the problem? He doesn't even exit his vehicle. This psychopath, Nayraj Shah, 50-plus-year-old man living with his mommy. I say, what's the problem? Doesn't even get out of his vehicle. I walk away. I tell him, fuck you and fuck off and fuck you, Nayraj. And I give him the finger and I walk away. And this hurts the precious feelings of Nayraj Shah because I said to him, fuck you and fuck off. And you need to visit Brooklyn, New York, Nayraj. Visit Brooklyn, New York. Guess what you're going to see in Bay Ridge, Nayraj, baby. It's not the high-resolution photo, and you won't be able to see it clearly anyway. But that's it. That's it right there. That's your surveillance device. Bald-headed, party-switching fraud, Todd Baxter. Todd, do you have to have sex with a jail now? Because you have a sexual attraction to jails. Quote, I have a passion for jails. Quote, end quote. So let me know what your favorite position is. Do you like the jail on top, Todd? Do you like to be on top of the jail? Let me know, Todd, because I really want to know how you have sex with a jail. So, and we have you, Todd, taking pictures of the employees underwater. And there are times where I have to try not to laugh. My face looks a little different. And this is one of them. Because nothing is funny or humorous about what you're doing to me in your sick, nauseating, disgusting existence at the sheriff's office and district attorney's office. So I'm trying not to laugh with this one. It's not the first time as I try to navigate these freedom of information laws where I'm going to try not to laugh. Because I'm going to get to Ryan Fisher. The new citizen in Georgia. Ryan Fisher, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. I didn't see your name on the payroll, Ryan, baby. Did you move to Georgia? Because you love it there in Atlanta, Georgia. Right now, I'm trying not to laugh at your stooge buffoonery, Todd Baxter. The cost of taxpayers for photography session approved by Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter photographed 10 public employees underwater in a pool. I love this photograph. I love this photograph. Bald-headed, party-switching fraud, Todd Baxter. There it is right there. There are your employees. Where was this photograph taken? With the American flag in the background. Are these heroes here? Your employees underwater in a pool with the American flag? You live in the United States of America, Todd. Where was this taken? Is this the dive team for Lake Ontario? If you have a dive team, I don't know. Do you have a dive team? Are these wetsuits at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Did you pay for photography for this? Did you expend taxpayer dollars to take this picture, Sheriff Todd Baxter? This was on your Facebook page. What's the answer? When I contact the state control and demand that he audit your Monroe County Sheriff's Office, this is one thing that I will cite in my writing. Were taxpayer dollars expended to take this picture? Because I was told it's a private event. So, doesn't matter if it's a private event. This is the 1984 of how your employees communicate. If it's a private event, you can still have taxpayer dollars spent. Did you expend taxpayer dollars to take this photograph of your public employees underwater in a pool, bald-headed, party-switching fraud, Todd Baxter? There are two flags that are different in the United States of America. It's the beautiful blue flag of New York with its Latin motto, Excelsior, which means ever higher. Every single human being in life should aspire to be ever higher in everything you do. I love that flag in New York. I used to look at it when I worked in the Capitol. I used to see it on the second and third floors. I used to see it all the time. I used to see it when the state troopers were there. Because when there would be news conferences, the flag would be there. And the second and third floors of the Capitol, I worked for the majority leader governor. I love that flag. And the flag in New York is nothing like the nauseating, sickening, disgusting flag of Georgia, with its history of racism and segregation. What's Ryan Fisher doing in Atlanta, Georgia? Bald-headed, party-switching fraud, Todd Baxter. The cost for a hotel and plane ticket for Monroe County Sheriff employee Ryan Fisher attended the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia on February 3rd, 2019 with his canine dog, Lola. Has anybody ever showed up at your residence demanding Lola from you, Ryan Fisher? Has anybody ever showed up from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office and demanded this beautiful German Shepherd here? And that is a beautiful dog. I love a German Shepherd. It's among my favorite breeds. That is a beautiful dog. As we get ready to watch the Super Bowl, we're grateful to the men and women signed to keep fans and players safe in Atlanta, including MCSO's Deputy Ryan Fisher, K9 Lola. Deputy Fisher sent this photo from Atlanta. Exclamation point. Thank you both for your service. How did you, Ryan, keep fans and players safe with Lola in Atlanta, Georgia before the Super Bowl? What were you doing, Ryan, baby, to keep fans and players safe? Were you standing outside here of Mercedes-Benz Stadium? I'm trying not to laugh. And here you are, the heroic Ryan Fisher. Here he is. First among heroes at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. It was such an abomination, Todd Baxter. How much was the plane ticket? How much was the hotel? How much was it to care for his dog, Lola? Did you bring the kinks, Ryan? You drink champagne, it tastes just like cherry cola. Are you singing? We singing Ray Davies there with Lola? I'm trying not to laugh. What other quote? Freedom of Information Law. November 19th. I'm the requester. You got that? On every one of these, Todd, baby, I'm the requester. You understand me, Sandra? What are the physical training standards and requirements of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter? In the United States Army, you have the PT test. You have to do push-ups, sit-ups, and 2-mile run. Push-ups in a certain amount, sit-ups in a certain amount, 2-mile run at a certain time, and you're flagged. If you are flagged, and I would do this paperwork, I would be told, flag this guy by the first sergeant or the sergeant major or the colonel. And I would flag the guy. And it would take 15 minutes to flag a guy. Bang, just like that. And he's not a soldier, which means he can't get promoted. He can't get an award. He can't travel. He can't do anything. The only thing you could do if you're flagged is go to your job and clean a latrine, and that's it. Do you flag your employees, Todd Baxter, when they're, for example, overweight? If you're 20 pounds overweight, how are you going to do your job? Perhaps you, Todd, have heard about how criminals like to run away from the cops. And then when criminals run away from the cops have to chase the criminals. And if you're 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds overweight, like your employees, Todd, how are you going to catch a criminal? Have you heard that the criminals like to run away from the cops? Todd Baxter. You have to be in shape to be in law enforcement. You have to be in shape in order to exert the required physical strength to do the jobs. And I've seen criminals on shows like Forensic Files or one of these Dateline NBC shows where some of these criminals are monsters committing their crimes. Big guys, 6'3", 6'4", 250, 260, 270 pounds. You got to be in shape. And I do have sympathy and understanding for how you have to confront at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office a violent criminal that is a large violent criminal. That is harrowing. You're putting yourself on the line. Your life is in danger when you have to confront criminals that are this big committing violent acts. So as I ridicule you, and I'm going to continue to ridicule you for a long time, I do understand your job and how you place yourselves in danger. There's no doubt about that. Fact. You have to be in shape. Are your public employees in shape, Todd Baxter? The answer is no. I've seen employee after employee after employee overweight. Michael Radler is paid $0 at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Are you, Michael Radler, paid in any other way by funds controlled by Todd Baxter? Because why are you going into the office if you go into the office at 130 South Plymouth Avenue? On the payroll, it says $0. What do you do for $0? You should be paid, Michael Radler, if you're going into the office. You were a Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee for 20 years and then you're retired. Are you paid $0 because Todd Baxter does not want to have you as a political liability be a double dipper? Double dipper. You do your 20 years, retire, you get that retirement paycheck, certain amount of time, you're in private life. Then you're rehired, you have your current paycheck, you collect your retirement paycheck with your current paycheck, double dipper. It says $0. I thought you were a double dipper, and I was attacking you as a double dipper because I just assumed you were being paid. And then when I finally acquired the payroll, after demanding it 50 times, I went right to your name. Your name is the first one I look for. $0. Michael Radler, $0. What do you do with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office for $0? Jail's public facility, Todd Baxter, who's there? Identify the individuals at your jail. The names and charges of every inmate at Monroe County Jail from January 1, 2018 to November 19, 2020. Who's at your jail? This is because I want to contact these individuals at your jail about their experience with your employees. Tell me who's at your jail, and you're going to refuse. Does the prosecutor talk in court, Sandra Doorley? Do you go to court, Madam District Attorney? Do you now appear in court? I know all about your career, saw how you worked your way up. So you obviously have courtroom experience. Do you now appear in court? You should. I'm telling you that you should have a case and go to court. Not for public relations reasons, just so you can be in court. Just so you can have that experience and know what it's like to be in a court, any court, even this little star chamber over here in Penfield with bald-headed, wig-wearing Paula Metzler and James Mullen. Just take a case and go to court. Tell me the name of your prosecutors, Sandra. I want 2 names. And what you're going to do with both of these, Sandra Doorley, District Attorney of Monroe County, even though both of them are public proceeding, I'm demanding 2 names. You will refuse. You are going to refuse to tell me these 2 names. Right now, and when I continue to contact you. Freedom of Information Law. Documentation for the case of Christian Chichester before John P. Lomenzo in Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? I walked in there before the 70-year-old pedophile protection racket, John P. Lomenzo Jr. for Daniel Glaus III. I'm standing at the podium looking at your public complaint. I'm waiting for her to talk. Go ahead and accuse me of a crime. Go ahead, detail a crime for me. Not one word, not one sound, not one syllable. The proceeding ends. I go in the back. There's Andrew Reale. I got another guy behind me pushing down on me. I go to my knees and the handcuffs go on. I was on my knees in Penfield Town Court after you were prosecuting and talked to Andrew Doorley as an innocent man. What's the name of your prosecutor who did not talk in Penfield Town Court? District Attorney Sandra Doorley. Send me that documentation. Total silence. Speaking of total silence, what's the name of this 5'2", 3-piece suit boy who doesn't talk and who apparently still has my case and is going to take me to the grand jury? What's his name? What's this boy's name, Sandra Doorley? Tell me his name. Tell me the name of this boy that has my case, Sandra Doorley. The documentation for the case of Christian Chichester before Paula Metzler, Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? It's that simple. Send me the information for everything that I just demanded on November 19th. November 19th. You got the same information on November 17th. What I just read to you, you have on November 17th. What I just read to you, you have on November 19th. Documentation I'm interested in the most is the public employee payroll. No, I demand everything on here. Send me everything. On June 26, 2020, I demanded this information on June 26th, June 24th, and June 22nd. Attached to 12 Freedom of Information Law documents, each is dated June 26th. The language is identical to the language mailed via registered mail return receipt on June 24th and June 22nd. How many times do I have to demand this information? I have 500 plus Freedom of Information Law documents that I have written, and you've complied with 2. When I received, finally, the public employee payroll for the district attorney's office, the sheriff's office, took 1 copy out of here when Lee LaRoque came in here. Lee LaRoque came in here wearing these blue gloves, Lee LaRoque. A search warrant looking for a hammer. I'm going to contact you about that, Todd Baxter. Who is Lee LaRoque wearing these blue gloves in my residence? Who is Lee LaRoque, Todd Baxter? Why isn't she on the payroll? Lee LaRoque was in here, was not on the payroll because this bald-headed, wig-wearing Paula Metzler, Penfield Town Court. Where's my Chromebook? Send my Chromebook back to me. Did you search it? What'd you find on there? That I'm a war criminal? Where's my Chromebook? Send it back to me. Sick, disgusting, nauseating, vile existence, Todd Baxter and Sandra Doorley. I adopted my Shih Tzu from Mom and Pop Farm Humane Society in 2012. My ex-girlfriend Laura, because we wanted to give a dog a home nobody wanted. And I tell you this to demonstrate your fanaticism, Todd Baxter. I'm walking my dog on this land behind my house next to this repulsive shower law firm. The back window flies open. 7 years, 4,000 times. And there your 2 employees are at my residence demanding my little guy. You come into my house to demand my little guy. All I'm doing is walking in the same way for 7 years, 4,000 times. And the reason why you come into my house to demand my little guy is you want to exercise power. And that's why I attack your employees as fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths. All you want to do is exercise power, demand a dog from someone, get that dog, and then they can have the satisfaction. They can tell all their buddies how we went to this guy's house, took his dog, scared the hell out of him. That's exactly what you're doing at the sheriff's office. I go to the now defunct PW Fitness in Penfield. I'm at the back of the gym. Up walks to me Jim's psychopath, Jermaine Benton. He goes like this. I tell him I'll be 30 seconds. I lean back on the machine. He punches down. My head snaps back. He begins to walk away. I had to exercise self-control and not attack Jermaine Benton. We go out to the car after $79,000 Andrew Reality arrives. Reality doesn't ask me one question because he's been to my residence, because it's a parking lot next to my house. I sit in the back seat of your vehicle. I'm looking at Andrew Reality talk to Jermaine Benton. He walks Jermaine Benton around to the side of the vehicle, and Jermaine Benton says to me, I want to press charges against you. And with those 7 words, we charge of harassment second. Harassment second. I've asked you this, demanded this repeatedly. What's the name of the human being I'm harassing, Todd Baxter? I was in Monroe County Jail for this, being charged with harassment second, sitting in the back seat of your vehicle. I speak to this Shannon Meyer, this disgusting, lying, repulsive hack, for an hour. I answer every question. One of the questions asked me, do you walk through the parking lot? I say yes, just like my neighbors. Just like the elderly woman who lives next to me, who you hid in the bushes. I'll get to that. Just like Penfield High School students, just like my excellent friend who lives next to me. Yes, I walk through the parking lot. Just like 5 people do a day, 10 people do a day, 15 people do a day. Nayraj and Layla Kumar Shah aren't coming to about anyone. They see people every day. There's Nayraj, 50-plus-year-old man living with his mommy, not going to about anybody walking through this parking lot except me. Friend, you bull-headed fuck. I tell my mother if I'm concocted a crime for me because you told this guy Steve Desmond of Brock Hollow Tree and Lawn Care to call your office, and your fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths just set me up and concocted a crime. He also met with the guy on his tractor. The guy on his tractor comes by my residence. I come outside, say nobody owns that land. We're back at my house. Desmond gets on his phone. I come back in here. That's when I see Shannon Meyer run into my backyard, crash right in her face. Honey, you know, when you're crashing on your face in my backyard dirt, did you get your uniform dirty? Here, sweetheart. I mean, did you tell your husband, Michael Bull, how you crashed on your face in my backyard dirt? I mean, did you tell your husband about it? Because here's your husband, Michael Bull, here. And he's got his official armband on him here that you gave him here. He likes to play dress up. So there's your husband, Michael Bull, honey, and there you are. So how did you like crashing on your face in my backyard dirt, sweetheart? And Todd, I mean, really, Todd, will you put down your arm? Put down your arm, Todd, because I don't know what the hell that action is. What is that? What are you doing, Sheriff Todd Baxter, with this arm action? What is that? I mean, I don't get that, Todd. What is that supposed to mean? Because this is total incoherence. Where did you come up with this one? I don't get it, Todd. I mean, really. And, you know, when I ride my bike down there in Rochester by the Monroe County Sheriff Office at 130 South Plymouth Avenue, Todd, you know, I'm extremely concerned about the symbol you have in front of the building, Todd, because this is the official symbol of the Monroe County Sheriff Office. And Todd, again, what is with this? I mean, it goes this way like that, and then it goes this way like that. And I don't get this. What is this? Is this hieroglyphics or something? Because this is really confusing to me. I mean, I have to, pardon me, I need to look at your official symbol, Todd, because I'm not quite getting this total incoherence here from you. I mean, can you write me a memo or send me an email about, you know, your official symbol in front of 130 South Plymouth Avenue in Rochester? Because I'm confused. And Todd, you need to Tell the employees to stop drinking this official beverage here, because that's why they act like animals, and you're an animal, Todd. So I go to the ATM at Canandaigua National Bank. I use the ATM and I see employees passing me on Penfield Road because they waited for me to come out of the residence. I come back down Penfield Road. I'm walking down Sanders Farm Drive where I live to Willow Pond Way, and I'm walking over to Wegmans. I walk in front of Wegmans, and your 5 vehicles with your 11, I counted 11 employees converged on me when I was at the pharmacy entrance. One of your employees lowered his shoulder, ran at me, knocked me down, and my head hit the concrete pavement. My head hit the concrete pavement because your employee, Todd Baxter, attacked and assaulted me. What's his name, Todd Baxter? What's the name of your employee that attacked and assaulted me? You have 11 witnesses to this. What's his name? And you know what you're going to do, Sheriff Todd Baxter? You're going to refuse to tell me. And what I'm looking for is the envelope, because I'm being billed. Being billed by the ambulance company that took me to the hospital. Your employee attacks me, my head hits the pavement, I have to go get an MRI, and then I get a bill from these people for the MRI because your animal lowered his shoulder, drove his shoulder into me, and knocked me down. What's his name? And what you're going to do is refuse to tell me. $61.39, because that's what I had. That's the check that you wrote for me. $61.39. That's what I had in my pocket. That's the cash and change. $61.39. I will never cash this check. Why are employees always at Wegmans? Here's one of them. Why are they always there? I just saw him again yesterday. The guy, I'm walking over there when I'm going to Gold's Gym in Fairport. I go through this little housing development, this low-income housing development to get there on Willow Pond Way, and he's right there next to the building. Here's one of them driving by. Why are employees at Wegmans food markets? Day after day after day. Danny and Colleen Wegman own and operate a private business. That's a private business. Doesn't matter how large it is. Why are employees at Wegmans food markets sitting in their vehicles doing nothing day after day after day? Do you know that your employees sit in their vehicles at Wegmans food markets? I told you this repeatedly. And they're there still. He drives in front of Wegmans. He drives over to Target, drives around the back of Target. Then he parks at Wegmans. He sits there. Then he drives in front of Wegmans, drives around Target, and parks there again. I've seen him do this over and over and over. It's not just one guy. This is what they do. You're such a joke, a buffoon, and incompetent. And I run a 5K at MCC, Todd, baby. And after the race, I go to the gym. And here's your 3 employees standing at the gym. I'm waiting there to get my first place for my age category. I'm just sitting there waiting. This is before the award ceremony. And here they are. These are your employees at a gym at MCC after 5K. Why? But to provide security? That's probably what you'll say. Are they there for the security at this 5K at MCC? Joke, buffoon, incompetent, party-switching, bald-headed fraud, Todd Baxter. And Todd, I'm going to help you out here because with your official photograph here. Here you are, Todd. And I must say that I love the way you look here in this official photograph. And I'm going to help you out with a couple products that I use, Todd. What you need to do with your hair is you need to use this Old Spice Timber right here. See, I use this, Todd. Old Spice Timber, see, 2-in-1 for the hair. See, Todd? And now what you do, Todd, is for your hair, you get in the shower, all right? You put a little in your hand like this. And then, for your hair, you put it on your hair, all right? And then when you get out of the shower, after your hair is glistening and shiny, you're going to look terrific with your flowing hair there, Todd. What you want to do is you want to take one of these two products. I got two, and you can choose one. See, I love the name of this one. LA Looks, your extreme sport. You're going to love extreme because you're an extremist. So what you do is for your hair is you take this. This is a whole 10 levels. See, that's what I need in my hair. I need a 10. So use this extreme sport here, and you put a little of this LA Looks here. And this is a gel for your hair, okay? Or for your hair, Todd, you can have this Axe Smooth Look Shine Pomade. Okay, so you can either use the gel or the pomade for your hair, Todd. And then when your hair looks exactly the way you want, you take out this spray here, fructus style, and you spray this in your hair, and that's going to make your hair look even more glistening and shiny. Here's order here. So she says order because you're a fanatic for order. Just like this guy here, which is you. So let me know how that's going with your hair, okay? And these parasites, Nairaj and Lady Kumar Shah, come outside and say nobody owns that land. I come back in my house. Nairaj, certified man, refused to open his mouth. Nairaj, 50-plus-year-old man, living with his mommy. You're living with your mommy. Why don't you want to open your mouth, Nairaj? Prove you own that land. There's multiple documents in here. Refuse. Steve Desmond, this weed-whacking, grass-cutting loser that cuts your grass, LED here whenever you want. What do you think, Todd? You're sleeping with your wife, Mrs. Fascist Stooge. 7 o'clock in the morning, Saturday, Sunday, here they come. Steve Desmond is the guy that you use as a civilian to deliver 6 of your fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths to my residence when the Shannon Meyer, the $67,000 lion hack, runs to my backyard and fell down. Steve Desmond. He's the guy. You're using this civilian. Why do you think he doesn't want to open his mail? He knows exactly my identity. He doesn't want to open his mail because of me. You use this civilian from Bracolo Tree in Lawn Care because you told him, get him to come out of the house with the guy with his beard, and we're going to be there. He doesn't want to open his mouth. You're using this civilian, Steve Desmond, to come to my residence. Isn't that right, Elliot Roth? Elliot, I walk through the parking lot. You say to me with that idiot look on your face, you're going to be arrested. I don't know what you're talking about. Doesn't it bother you, Elliot, as an American citizen, you're concocting crimes for me at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Doesn't it bother you, Elliot, that they came there and put that surveillance device on your building? That's why you say to me, Elliot, you're going to be arrested because you know that they were there, put that surveillance device on your building. I finally saw the footage. My excellent public defender, Regina Harper, showed it to me. I went to her office in Rochester. I'm sitting there next to Regina. Thank you for everything. You've done for me, Regina. So, Elliot, who told you I was going to be arrested, Elliot? Who told you? Who told you I was going to be arrested, Elliot Roth? Does it matter to you? Does it matter to you? The answer is no. Leila Kumar Shah refused. Refused. Why do you want to open your mail? John P. Lomenzo writes an order of protection for me. I go to the YMCA. I'm on the rowing machine. I'm on a rowing machine in this large room. I'm rowing, and I want to be left alone. And at the back of the room, I see Leila Kumar Shah. I'm rowing. I want to be left alone, just like I do every day when I go to the gym. And I don't talk to anybody ever when I go to the gym. And I see Leila Kumar Shah. And she walks up to me, standing in front of me as I'm on the rowing machine, this freak show. I'm looking at her. I look up. She points oddly to something next to me. I say to her, what's my name? You know my name. It's frightened, so she walks away. And she goes up to the employee at the YMCA. She points at me and says, he doesn't belong at the YMCA. The YMCA employee says to Leila Kumar Shah, I don't know what you're talking about. Because no one knows what this vile, disgusting, sickening human being is talking about. You're a vile, disgusting, sickening human being, Todd Baxter and Sandra Doorley. John P. Lomenzo Jr. Turned to Sandra, refused. The guy's writing an order of protection for these two over here, for me to sign. He's shaking me down and came to the town court to sign an order of protection. Here he is again. John P. Lomenzo Jr., certified mail refused. This is when he really loses his mind. Rejected. Guy attacked this envelope. Michael Radler. Turn to sender. $0 Michael Rabbit, right? Neeraj Shah, refused. Neeraj again, refused. Prove you own that land, refused. Neeraj Shah, refused. Layla Kumar, refused. Elliot, who told you I was going to be arrested? What do you think's in there? Who told you I was going to be arrested, Elliot? Refused. Certified mail. Elliot, who told you I was going to be arrested? Who told you? Refused. Fucking coward. Steve Desmond, Broccolatry and Lawn Care, again. Refused. Steve Desmond refused. Neeraj Shah, prove you own that land, Neeraj. Prove you own that land. Refused. John P. Lomenzo Jr., pedophile protection rack for Dan Glaus III. Refused. They're not the only ones refusing to open their mail. Sheriff of Monroe County, bald-headed, party-switching fraud Todd Baxter is afraid to open his mouth for me. June 15, 2019. Refused. Why are you afraid to open your mouth for me, Sheriff Todd Baxter? What's the answer? Afraid to open your mouth. What's the name of the prosecutor in my case before John P. Lomenzo Jr., Sandra Doorley, that didn't talk? What's the name of the prosecutor in my case, Sandra Doorley, that now has my case, that didn't talk? What's his name? What's the name of your employee, Sandra Doorley, that's going to take me to the grand jury next month? What's his name? You're going to take me to the grand jury when I'm running away? I leave my residence. Your two employees, Todd Baxter, walked onto the front lawn of Sanders Farm Drive. My neighbor that lives across the street. I turn around. I run away. I'm running along the side of my residence. I go up the back porch. I grab a hammer next to the residence. The hammer goes up. I pull away. I run back in my house. That's how you concocted a felony for me. How am I committing a felony on my back porch? I saw the footage. I ran back into my house. How do I commit a felony on my back porch? And what's their names? I saw the footage and they're turning the camera on and off. They parked on Penfield Road for me. And they turned the camera off when they walked on to the front lawn of my neighbor. And then they're turning the camera back on because they're walking around out here. And you can see that the footage, the way the footage is edited and the way I'm looking at it, I concluded that they can turn that camera on and off. It's not continuous. If they're leaving their vehicles and they're outside for me, then that camera should be on continuously for the next 2 hours, and it's not. It's flickering, it's on and off, and there's no way you can see a hammer go up and me committing a felony. I'm not committing a felony on the body camera of your public employees. And what are their names, Todd Baxter? What are the names of your two employees that walked onto the private property of my neighbor at Sanders Farm Drive? The sweetest, nicest person anybody could ever want to meet. And I did not tell her that your employees were on her front lawn. I did not tell her this because of her age. That's why. If she was a younger woman, 20 plus years younger, she's in her 70s, I in all likelihood would have told her. But I don't want to scare her because I believe as you get older, you are frightened by things that wouldn't necessarily frighten you 20 years before. And I don't want her to know the Monroe County Sheriff Office employees were on her property. Your employees walked onto the private property of my neighbor waiting for me to come out of the house. And this is why you're a sick lunatic friend, you bald-headed, party-switching, fanatic, degenerate, sociopath. So, Todd, now, in the list of salaries that I've read, there's one salary that I am particularly interested in. I just want to make sure I have the payroll. See the three that I just read, because Todd, I just need to explain to you. Here's November 15th, names and salaries of everybody at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. And here's November 17th, names and salaries of everyone at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. And here, Todd, is November 19th, the names and salaries of everyone at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. So send me a list of salaries so I can use the one I have and see who you gave raises to. I don't want to see your new employees, what you're paying your new employees, because if there's a new name on there, I'm going to know the new name. And then Todd, I have two employees here, or one employee for you and one of you employee for you, Sandra. And this is the employee I'm interested in. I want to know what he makes, Todd. This guy here, I'm really concerned about your employee here, Todd, because I think this guy has emotional and self-control problems, and he's going to bridge the civil and constitutional rights of other innocent New Yorkers like me. So, Todd, this here is your employee. This is Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Tom Iceman Kazansky. So, what do you, Todd, pay Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Tom Iceman Kazansky? And you can see he's got these whack job aviator shades on here. Todd, you know, he likes to talk to one of your other employees at the office and confirm he's a whack job. You know, because this is what he said to one of your employees at the office, Todd. I'm very concerned about your employee here, Tom Iceman Kazansky, because this is what he said to one of your employees. Did he say this to you, $0 Michael Radler? Did he say this to you, William Tadeo? I think he said it to somebody else because I have the quote here, but it's a nickname here. So you can have a nickname there, William. This is what your employee, Tom Iceman Kazansky, said, Todd. Quote, Maverick, it's not your flying, it's your attitude. The enemy's dangerous, but right now you're worse. Dangerous and foolish. You may not like who's flying with you, but whose side are you on? Whose side are you on, Sheriff Todd Baxter? That's a good question that your employee, Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Tom Iceman Kazansky is asking. And then Sandra, sweetheart, let me see here. I got the list of salaries, the most recent one here. Names of salaries, very public at the district attorney's office. You have that, honey? Now, honey, what do you pay Monroe County Assistant District Attorney Madonna? What do you pay her? Was she the prosecutor that stood in the nauseating star chamber of Penfield Town Court before 70-year-old John P. Lomenzo Jr. and didn't talk? Was it Assistant District Attorney Madonna, honey? Was it? I did not laugh when I did that. So, pregnant woman back in custody after escape at Strong Memorial Hospital. How did you allow 19-year-old Lee Burden to escape? How does that happen? How did you allow her to escape? Sheriff Todd Baxter, I'm going to write to you about this. There's your employees right here. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 of them here in this grainy photo, but there's 4 of them there. If I had the color photo, I'd probably make it up. But there's 4. There's a Lee Burden. How did this happen? Was there discipline? She escaped to a parking lot. How did it happen? What you're going to do is refuse to answer. I don't know what her charge was either. If she's nonviolent, violent, what it is. So, comply with every Freedom of Information Law document that I sent you. November 15th, every single one. November 17th, every single one. November 19th, every single one. It's attached in PDF. My name is Chris Chichester. I live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive. I have never committed a crime. And whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.